Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have loved having the chance to share with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Through the years, my story has been heard by thousands of people, and if you are somebody who is new here, hi, welcome in. It is my honor to meet you. My name is Jonathan Clarke, and I'm one of the biggest Descendants and Zombies fans in the world, pretty much in existence. So, as a result of this, I know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies, and I may have the answers to some of your questions that have forever and always remained unanswered about the release window of Zombies 5, Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, who's going to be a part of the cast, what the plot is going to detail. I know everything there seems to know about Descendants and Zombies, and that's precisely why this has become everybody's favorite YouTube channel of all time. Pretty much it's hosted by a loser, who is one of the biggest losers of all time for his passion for video games and his love for Disney, and everything else related to it in the way of pop culture. I've often related to people for my relatable content about Descendants and Zombies, and I've become one of the most recognizable figures in the history of these franchises because I help everybody make sense of everything going on around them. While critics will try to tear down your hopes and dreams of anything ever happening for Descendants or Zombies or anything coming to be or coming to pass, I've always tried to build up that credibility that we've carried with us and that respect that we've always had for these casts, both past and present. Earlier today, this afternoon, I saw some photos of Nell and Evie, some throwback photos from the shooting of Descendants back in 2015, 2017, and 2019, and I felt so honored to have a retrospective rewind of how much Descendants and Zombies has meant to each and every one of our hearts. No matter who your favorite Descendants character is, you're more than welcome to subscribe here to this YouTube channel because I understand you. And I get you because I've taken great pride and put tremendous heart in understanding my audience and giving them what they've wanted for the years. And I've had a greater understanding for pop culture for a very long time. So when it comes to the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Ashley and Jessica Simpson, I know everything there is to know about your favorite pop stars and your favorite actors and actresses and your favorite casts that have made up casts such as Descendants and Zombies, even High School Musical, Hannah Montana. There truly is something here for everybody on this YouTube channel, and you are more than welcome to subscribe here because I've loved creating content about Descendants and Zombies for a very long time. Unquestionably, it's held a very special place in my heart. Now, long story short, you're going to have to put up with a guy who lives in a haunted house for many years. I found this house on real estate, and ever since moving in here, people have tried to convince me this place was haunted. I can't say I've ever taken them seriously or had it investigated, but I'm seriously thinking about following through with that because as days pass, I'm becoming more convinced that this place is haunted, and conveniently enough, I found it near a soda plantation and a chemical plant. Why, you may ask? Am I crazy enough to live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant and living my life in fear of it exploding? Well, how else is somebody supposed to record and share with you their thoughts on Descendants and Zombies? I mean, I could just sit here every night and talk about Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you, but living my life out like Descendants and Zombies is an entirely different experience and really a chance that I've taken myself up on. I've always wanted to be in these Indiana Jones or Tom Cruise kind of action scenes for zombies. Now, I know zombies action scenes will never go as far as, jumping out of airplanes or helicopters, but ever since I saw Mr. Beast do it, I've always wanted to take myself up on the opportunity to jump out of an airplane backwards to get more subscribers. And I would love to think that I would never have to do that because people love Descendants and Zombies enough that they're just going to hit my subscribe button anyway. But if it comes down to it, I will seriously think about jumping out of an airplane backwards for each and every one of you because you guys have loved this YouTube channel with all of your heart. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, there's no need to go that far with it. But that's just me putting into perspective how much I've loved each and every one of you so much, man, because you guys gave me the opportunity to be a part of something so special. You gave me a chance to be a part of Descendants and Zombies because this niche has forever and always belonged to you, and it's how you represented yourself for many years. So it didn't give me the right to tear it down with, criticism towards your favorite stars, because if I was going to be a part of a conversation that had anything to do with the likes of Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, it was going to have to be something nice. And I had the chance to be a part of that and truly experience that because of each and every one of you without having to jump out of an airplane. And somebody out there tonight is saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, the thought of you jumping out of an airplane in an action scene for Descendants and Zombies sounds really cool. Well, I've always wanted to take myself up on the opportunity to be an actor for the Descendants and Zombies franchises, and if not that, a creative writer or a producer, because I have so much creative energy to offer to the Descendants and Zombies franchises. I've often wanted to attend these board meetings and get out on the action and all the ideas and the creative process, because I think there is never enough creative energy when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, and there's never more of a chance for someone to believe in something than when it came to believing in these franchises, because these franchises are eternal. they're pretty much a constant. And what a constant means, for those of you who don't know, it's something that has a chance of lasting for forever, and most certainly will, because of how much each and every one of you are passionate about it. Not just through watching the movies or hosting a slumber party with your best friends and staying up all night and watching Descendants, which is really, really cool. I used to do that when I was a teenager, but I used to watch professional wrestling a lot. So my friends and me used to have slumber parties when pay-per-views like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania used to happen. So hundreds of us would get together, and the house would literally be full. And mind you, I can't forget to mention that I was the only guy on the block that actually had pay-per-view access. So everybody would come over to my house to watch the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Crazy times, I know, but they were some of the funnest times of my life. So, putting that into perspective, I know how you guys feel about Descendants of Zombies. Now, cool it must be for you to host slumber parties and talk to your friends all night on the phone about what you think is going to happen next in Descendants of Zombies. And your prediction is always the prediction that matters. Because I can tell you what I think is going to happen in Descendants of Zombies when it comes to mermaids and pirates, but you guys know better than what I do, and you guys have always known best. Because you guys are the smartest fandom of all time. You know everything there is to know about Descendants of Zombies, and there's nothing that I can't tell you that you already don't know. Because many of you have got your tickets for the Stars Align Tour for Freya, Skye. Many of you are going to come out with so much love and support for Freya, Skye, unlike anything we've ever seen in our lives. And I love you for it, man, because the love and support that you've shown for Freya, Skye is truly unparalleled, and there's really no comparison to how we feel about something when it comes to Freya, Skye. Thousands of people have subscribed to Freya, Skye on YouTube because they love her music so much. From the first moment you heard a song like The Person I Thought I Knew or Gold's Gone, you were calling your friend, telling them they had to listen to this song. And then your friend, after hanging up the phone from you, would go on YouTube and watch the video. And they felt the same way, or even not as more excited as each and every one of you did about this. And more people would gradually fall in love with Freya, Skye because of her image and because of the impression she was leaving on people's hearts. Because for the first time ever in our lives, because of people like Kylie and Freya, we felt as if we were a part of something special. And we've been a part of something special ever since. Some of the most fun memories that I've ever created on this YouTube channel came at the expense of talking about Freya, Skye and Kylie Cantrell and having the opportunity to say something nice. Because when I told you I love the song like Silent Treatment or I love the song Gold's Gone, I was telling you the truth. I really did love the song, and I thought something special existed in the lyrics because Freya, Skye was just trying to relate to each and every one of you. It may have never had anything to do with what Freya, Skye may have been experiencing or going through in her own life, but it had everything to do with how she wanted to relate to each and every one of you. And what got me about the reaction videos that were being uploaded about a song like Silent Treatment were people really didn't want to give this one much of a chance. They were just trying to figure out who may have hurt Freya, Skye. It was pretty much like a Dr. Seuss book. It started up with 1,500 words jumbled together on a piece of paper, and then it eventually became Horton Hears a Who or The Cat in the Hat. I was always a fan of Dr. Seuss, so you're going to have to cut me a break. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, how many Dr. Seuss books have you read? You guys don't really want to know that. Because in all honesty, guys, I've read every Dr. Seuss book that there ever has been created or published. Just that I read every Goosebumps book. And yes, I collected every Dr. Seuss book, and I collected every Goosebumps book. Guys, there were over 62 Goosebumps books in total. And there are 9 total books in the Descendants franchise, but I think the Descendants book series still has a long way to go. If not in movies, it's going to continue in books for many years to come. Because Disney has realized the popularity of it and the revenue they've generated from it. But I think revenue is just one way of looking at it. The popularity and the recognition of these characters has everything to do with why Descendants has gone on to achieve so much rarity and become one of the most recognizable franchises of all time. I love everything about it. I love the graphics. I love the costume designs. I love how passionate the characters feel about each other. I love how the actors, feel very passionate about bringing these characters to life. That's why I've wanted to take myself up in the opportunity to be a prince or to be considered as a member of the cast of Descendants, because I really do believe that if Jonathan Clarke was the prince in Descendants, I think he would become everybody's favorite Descendants character because of just how relatable he was. Because if there ever was an opportunity to have a meet and greet and get off the bus and meet thousands of Descendants of Zombies fans and sign autographs, do the whole shoot and bang thing, I would really do that. Because in all honesty, guys, you guys have deserved way better in the way of content on YouTube for Descendants of Zombies for a very long time, and you've deserved to hear somebody's opinion that is just as appreciative of the franchise as each and every one of you. Because I know what it's like to stand in line to get concert tickets for hours. I used to camp out years ago back in the 90s to get tickets for concerts all the time and wrestling events. So I know what it's like to be so excited to see your favorite wrestler compete in a match for the first time ever live and in person, or to see your favorite artist perform on stage. I will never forget all the concerts that I attended. And I really felt for you guys when you had the chance to experience the Worlds Collide Tour and Freya, Skye's Up and Coming Stars Align World Tour, which I expect the best reviews to be written about because, in all honesty, guys, Freya Skye deserves nothing but the best. And I've just wanted to give Freya Skye the best each and every single time that I've ever recorded a video because somewhere out there in this really big universe tonight, there is that one girl who loves Freya Skye with all of her heart. So because she loves Freya Skye with all of her heart, I've just wanted to give her the best. And I was kind of hoping that she was going to hit my subscribe button because Jonathan Clarke is your favorite YouTuber, right guys? You love Jonathan Clarke's videos about Descendants of Zombies, and you're going to subscribe here and support Jonathan Clarke so Jonathan Clarke can have more opportunities to have these conversations about Descendants of Zombies, not for predictions about Descendants 6, because Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland is not the end, it's only just the beginning, and this is going to go way beyond Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, especially with all these new characters, and how they're relatively new gives us more of an opportunity to experience a story and write more stories than ever before. I was really fond of the books, and I think that's why a lot of people wanted that, had a desire to want to write for Descendants of Zombies, and some of you have been very creative with your ideas and the thought process for Descendants of Zombies, because there's such a creative energy with Descendants of Zombies, and not forgetting to mention about how there's an extensive library of fairy tale characters that Disney has introduced us to from their own perspective over the years, and I think with an extensive library of fairy tale characters yet to see their introduction into this franchise, even with how many we've already seen see their introduction into this franchise, this is a story that never has to end or should never have to be over. Because if you ever wanted to believe in something special, at least once in your life, I think Descendants of Zombies has given us more of an opportunity than perhaps ever before. And I've never felt more than honored to be a part of all these wonderful conversations that I've shared in with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies, because everybody feels passionate about Descendants of Zombies from their own perspective, how passionate you've been about collecting the dolls and the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour merch and the Descendants merch in general in terms of posters. Because I know that every single night there is somebody that has their favorite Descendants character on a poster on their wall. Because many of you were fans of Mal back in the day, and I understand why you were fans of Mal back in the day. It had everything to do with how fearless she was, and how she never really cared what anybody thought of her. She just wanted to be the greatest of all time. Kind of like me. It reminds me of myself a lot, because to be honest with each and every one of you, I've always had a dream of wanting to go down in history for being the greatest of all time. And I would love to know that it has something to do with Descendants of Zombies. I never thought it would happen for me in the form of talking about Descendants of Zombies, but it pretty much did. And the cool thing was, it happened overnight, because thousands of people were subscribing to this YouTube channel day by day. Day after day, somebody was seeing something special in every insight that I had to share about Descendants and Kylie Cantrell and Freya Skye. And Kylie Cantrell is somebody who I felt more than passionate about through the years. If there ever was somebody who deserved something nice to be said about her, it was Kylie Cantrell. And then I saw tears in Kylie Cantrell's eyes because some people were taking exception to how Kylie Cantrell was feeling about her political point of view being misinterpreted or taken out of context. I mean, I've never really cared about Kylie Cantrell's political point of view. Just seeing her put on the spot like that really hurt me. And it really broke my heart. And if I was going to say anything about Kylie Cantrell, it was going to have to be something nice. If anything, Kylie Cantrell has inspired me to want to run for President of the United States. And that would be really cool because I'd fix a lot of stuff and I'd finally give Kylie Cantrell a president that she could be proud of. I would personally call Kylie Cantrell myself and say, hey Kylie, have I become a president that you're proud of now? Can we just move on with our lives and forget about the past? And she's so full of life and she's just so appreciative of everyone and everything that she's experienced in her lifetime. And I've never seen anybody as appreciative as what Kylie Cantrell has been. I can't say I've ever encountered somebody as appreciative as what Kylie Cantrell is. So to have the honor to say nice things about Kylie Cantrell and to share in all these wonderful experiences with every fan of Descendants of Zombies, that's been really fun to me. And it's been an experience that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. Each and every one of you have contributed so much to this YouTube channel because you've always seen something special in every review that I've ever recorded. Do you know within 3 days, over 6.7 million people saw Descendants of the Rise of Red? That's really incredible. Just think about that. That means 2.3 million people every 24 hours watch The Rise of Red. And then they took it down because of some technical glitch, and then everybody was freaking out because they didn't know what was happening, why they couldn't watch The Rise of Red. And then Disney offered up an explanation on D23.com saying they had to go back and make some edits. There was a technical glitch. This happens all the time, and everybody was freaking out. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because anything that people could create a story off of in terms of internet headlines, they did when it came to Descendants of Zombies. But I will never forget the attention the Worlds Collide Tour garnered. Because on that night, you guys got the chance to experience something that you had dreamed about for your entire lives. To share a night with your favorite stars. So if I was going to record a video on the Worlds Collide Tour, I was going to say something nice. And I was going to take bullets up against every critic, because there are 17 million critics, in case you haven't already heard, who really love to say hateful things about Descendants of Zombies, and I've never wanted to be a part of that conversation. I wanted to be everybody's favorite YouTuber, and I like to believe that some way or somehow I did eventually go on to become and garner the reputation of becoming everybody's favorite YouTuber, because every single night, ever before I sit in front of this microphone, I'm thinking from the perspective of a fan and about what I'd like to watch if I was a YouTuber on the other side of the video. Because somewhere out there in this really big universe tonight, there is this one girl who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of her heart, and all she's ever wanted is to watch the best Descendants of Zombies videos ever. And I like to believe that somewhere or somehow I became everybody's favorite YouTuber because of the content that I created and the opinions that I shared, which really became a story and an opportunity for me to share that story with thousands of people who felt the same way about Descendants of Zombies, because really, you guys have become some of my best friends. Some of the very first 150 subscribers that I've ever seen on this YouTube channel are still here with me to this very day. And it's because they saw something special in this YouTube channel ever before anybody else did. Thank you so much for staying with me for a very long time and putting up with me through the years and all these crazy conversations and these stories that I've shared with you through being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. It's been an experience that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart, because Descendants of Zombies gave me the chance to really feel accepted by a niche, and my opinions actually were taken seriously by that niche. Because over 25 years, I've had the opportunity to talk about everything related to pop culture, from the Backstreet Boys to NSYNC to Britney Spears, and I go back quite a ways. But I've never been taken this seriously by a niche as I was by Descendants of Zombies fans, so I've just wanted to stay forever and always loyal to this franchise and just forever and always remain a part of it. And Descendants of Zombies fans have always loved these opinions and these predictions that I've shared with them, so it made these videos so much more fun to create, because I never knew how well and how widely these videos would be received, how well and how widely these videos would go on to be received by thousands of people who would eventually hit my subscribe button. I think just last week, over 100 people hit my subscribe button in just one day. In just one day, over 100 people hit my subscribe button. And last summer, over 1,000 people hit my subscribe button in just 1 week. That's insane. So if you are somebody who has yet to subscribe here to this YouTube channel, if you're thinking about subscribing, you could be the biggest Freya Skye fan in the world. I would love to meet you, because these opportunities are far and in between. They are very far apart, and these opportunities don't ever happen all that often in a person's lifetime. And I've loved having this opportunity and this chance to share my story with each and every one of you. I never thought that I'd be so relatable to thousands of people, because I share my passion for Disney and my love for Descendants of Zombies. Because when I told you I love Descendants of Zombies, I really did. Because you never see me reading off of a teleprompter or with a piece of paper in front of me with some pre-written statement, because I've always believed in perceiving every video with an open heart and an open mind. Because when you perceive every video with an open heart and an open mind, it gives you more of an opportunity to create more relatable content that has a chance of touching at least one person's heart out there. Because for every video that's ever uploaded here, somebody always subscribes here to this YouTube channel. And that's why the subscriber count on this YouTube channel is relatively high. Also for its relatable content that's uploaded every single day. There's always something new here on this YouTube channel every time somebody checks. Because I've always wanted to develop consistency. And my consistent habits have made this everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I've seriously loved sharing with you my stories about how I've lived in a haunted house for many years now. I found this house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant, and all the crazy stories that have happened to me throughout my lifetime. Because who knows if I'll ever have the chance to share with you my stories again. We never seem to know how much time we have in this lifetime, and we often see ourselves asking ourselves a question, find ourselves asking us that same question: what would we do with more time if we had it? The thing is, we can never get time back, so I've really appreciated sharing these times with each and every one of you together. We've laughed together, we've cried together as the biggest fans of Descendants of Zombies and some of its biggest supporters. And I've really had the time of my life hosting this show. This show was really a gift to me and the greatest honor that's ever been bestowed on me as a YouTube creator. Because if there was one place that I could be in the world tonight, it would be right here with each and every one of you. And I hope that this story has a chance of lasting forever, because it really has never had to be over. I know that critics say that they need to stop making Descendants of Zombies movies all the time, but who has ever really believed that? If you are as passionate about Descendants of Zombies as what I am, then you're going to subscribe here to this YouTube channel, and you're going to continue to forever and always believe in whatever you believe in about Descendants of Zombies, because there's nothing ever been wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. People obviously feel very passionate about it for a reason, and the obvious ones at that, for its beautiful story, its beautiful script, its beautiful characters who represent themselves so phenomenally and so incredibly. I will never forget any of you for how much you've meant to this YouTube channel and what you've done for me as a YouTube creator. So seriously, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. We will resume and pick up this conversation from where we left it off bright and early tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. Hope you will catch that first video tomorrow morning when it drops. And thank you so much from wherever you hear my voice or are watching this video out there in the world tonight, because even with how big this universe seems to be on times, there's always that one fan of Descendants of Zombies, that super fan who can't get enough of her Descendants of Zombies content. Thank you so much for having made this everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and thank you so much from my heart to yours for taking the time out of your busy lives to watch this video. It's been my honor to create all this wonderful and certainly relatable content for all fans of Descendants of Zombies, which you are more than welcome to subscribe to, because everybody has a place in this legendary legacy of Descendants of Zombies, a legacy that will never ever be forgotten nor ever surpassed. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much from my heart to yours for having watched this video.